Elsa Majimbo, aka Umfazi Wamafuta, took to her socials to expose the Naomi Campbell for being an evil, controlling, and possessive coon who attempted to own her, then pimp her out to old and wealthy Hollywood execs. Allegedly, Majimbos, who's rebranded from a chip-devouring dreamer to an actual rich bitch who shares her out-of-this-world "Mama, I made it" experiences through storytelling while lathering her chocolatey skin with various oils, lotions, and fragrances, was asked to share how her relationship with supermodel extraordinaire Naomi Campbell, aka Babalwa Mneno 2.0, came to be. Elsa Majimbo then gathered the courage and strength to share her truth, revealing that Naomi Campbell entered her life disguised as an angelic mentor who strived to uplift this young, gifted, and melanated princess who was eager to make it big in the entertainment industry. As time went on, Elsa Majimbo discovered that Naomi Campbell was actually set on selling her to the highest bidders so she could rake up hefty commission fees and continue to rub shoulders with the elite, while simultaneously playing God and telling the whole world that she made Elsa Majimbo who she is today.
Talk about Naomi Campbell. There's Naomi, your mentor. Relax. I'm here to tell you today what happened. So, in December of 2020, Naomi was coming to Nairobi to do some shopping. She was on holiday, but on a remote place. So she was in Nairobi doing shopping. And I texted her and she told me she's in Nairobi. So I was so excited to meet her. She was the first celebrity I was ever going to meet. Guys, I was through the roof. She texted me, she was like, hey, I'm here. She texted me the location. I went directly. I went with my brother. So my brother and I, we met her, we did some shopping. And as we're shopping, she's like, oh, the plane that's taking us back actually has couple more seats. Do you and your brother want to join us on holiday? Hell yes. So I was like, oh, that would be so lovely. But I texted my dad, I said, hey, get the car ready, I'm coming to the house. We are going to the airport in an hour to meet Naomi Campbell so she can take me on vacation. So we go on vacation. We had like a very nice vacation. Naomi took care of me the whole entire time. We were staying on the beach, we're doing this, and then eating, just having fun, what people do on vacation. And this one time we were on the beach, Naomi was like, oh, we should do a documentary, a film about you living in Kenya. And I was like, oh yeah, that's fantastic. She introduced me to a couple of people in Hollywood. It was so lovely. So a couple of people, she was on vacation, were coming to Nairobi after the vacation. They were staying at the Kempinski. So I went to see them at the Kempinski when the whole thing was over. So I sat down with them. I was talking to one of them. And one of them was like, oh, it's so, how did you meet Naomi? And I was like, oh, no, I texted her on Instagram, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, yeah, she told us, she made you and she built you and she made your career. And I was like, what? No, that's not what happened. And I was like, you mean helped me and promoted me? And she was like, no, what you have is because of her. And I was like, oh yeah, no, that didn't happen. It is very important you remember that part later. Okay, so time goes by. March 2022. We have jumped into March 2022. I get a phone call. My phone is ringing. Naomi Campbell. Oh, so I pick up, I'm like, hey sis, how are you doing? And she's like, Elsa, how dare you? Oh, so I'm in shock, right? I don't know what's going on. So let me tell you what happened, the context of this phone call. So I had just finished the previous year, I had done a documentary on my life, about bullying, about growing up with colorism, all these things, about comedy, where I fell in love with comedy. So the film was debuting at Tribeca Film Festival, and someone from Tribeca asked Naomi if she was coming, and Naomi thought the film was the film she had suggested to me on the beach about me leaving Kenya. So I was like, no, that's not what it's about. I tried explaining to her, and then she was like, I'll sue you for the rights of this movie, and I'll win, right? So I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm like, this is crazy. I'm telling you, it's not about that. So I tell her, let me call you tomorrow. And she asked me, like, why didn't you tell me when I told you at the beach? And I was like, you're Naomi Campbell. Like, I was starstruck. Like, it took me very long to, like, process that moment. And I was like, I'll call you tomorrow. So the next day I had a flight. The flight I was taking from Botswana to Ghana, where I met that guy, actually. That's the time I was taking that flight. So I was supposed to call her the next day, but it was a 22-hour flight, and in Ethiopia, there was no service, so I couldn't call her. So I called her the day after. Immediately, I landed in Ghana. So she's the first person I called. I'm like, hey, blah, blah, like, are you free to talk? And she tells me, you were supposed to call me tomorrow. You were supposed to call me yesterday. You didn't call me yesterday, which she was very right about. And she said, I have the Met Gala. And she was like, this is the last time I'm speaking to you. Have a nice life. And she hung up, which I was like, I was very saddened by the situation, right? But I was like, if that's how she truly feels, because I respect people's space. So I was like, if that's how she truly feels, fine, it's okay. So I let it go. So after that, like a few months, things started going very badly for me. Things started going haywire. And I didn't think I thought it was because of the situation, let me not lie. But I was like, also it can be sure. So I was like, let me go. Because also having someone like Naomi Campbell not liking you in the industry is not a good thing. So I went to her, I apologized. I'd already apologized when the situation had happened, but I went and I apologized again and again. I started calling her, I started texting her, and then one day she just texted me and she was like, stop calling me. I have a child to take care of. So after that, I just said, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. I started drinking. That's why I even quit alcohol. I started drinking. I started drinking a lot. Yeah. And then, because I wasn't sure why things were going so wrong, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And then a few months later, I met Edward Enifel at a party, and Edward Enifel is oh my goodness, he's one of the people I adore the most. So I was like, oh my goodness, that's Edward, I have to go say hi. So I'm like, hey, Edward, I'm such a big fan. And he looks at me, he's like, I know you. And then he said something that made me think the situation with Naomi was causing like some of the trials and tribulations I was currently going through. So I was like, you know what? I need to fix this. So I went to one of our mutual friends and I was like, hey, please, can you tell Naomi? Because I knew they were going on holiday together. So I was like, hey, can you please tell Naomi to text me? And she was like, yeah, I'll make sure and blah, blah. So a couple of days went by and then Naomi finally texted me and she was like, yeah, I let that go a long time ago. I'm not one to hold a grudge. She sent me a very lovely text. She said, Happy New Year. So after that happened, this was the New Year 2023. So after that happened, every single step I made, every single move I made, I told Naomi. Every single thing I did, I told Naomi. I would breathe. I tell Naomi whether she would reply or not. I would send her a message because I didn't want what happened to happen again. And after some time, after a few weeks, I called my mom and I was like, this isn't normal. This doesn't feel healthy. It kind of feels, it doesn't feel too nice. There's nothing healthy or normal about this. And I was like, I don't want to be in a situation like this. So after that, I just decided it is healthier for me to completely remove myself from the situation and get myself out. And you remember earlier when I said my friends said, the ones Naomi had introduced me to, when they said, oh, Naomi had made you. You remember when I said that? So I just want to acknowledge that and say that even through all this, right? Even through everything that happened, first of all, number one, obviously I played a part in it because I am part of the story. In any situation you are in, you play a part, you play a role. And I had my role and I apologize for my role. And something else, when she said she made me, I'm not going to speak on that, but I will say that Naomi did give me a lot of credibility, especially when I first entered the industry. She gave me a lot of credibility. And that's not something that I can just say, oh, you know, this happened and Naomi, blah, blah, blah. I can't say that. She did hold me up high, and she introduced me to a lot of people. She made me feel special. She did a lot of things for me. So I wouldn't say she made me, but she did play a big role in a lot of the things that I did in that space during that time. So yeah, me and her, we're not friends, we're not enemies, we're not anything, just not really in association. So we're just strangers.
While many commended Elsa Majimbo for being brave enough to expose the sinister deeds of a Hollywood big shot, some were worried that she would mysteriously vanish, as we all know how exposing the devil can lead to one's demise. Others were eager to witness the downfall of the gorgeous and successful Elsa and began celebrating prematurely. These celebrations came to a screeching halt when a few days later, Elsa Majimbo was spotted with the Queen Bee, aka King Beyoncé, proving that she really is the girl that she thinks she is, and that she gon' be alright. I must say, it was rather appalling to see countless people bashing Elsa for speaking up against violation and oppression in 2024. The vicious cycle of silencing victims is exactly what fuels monsters and encourages them to keep destroying the innocent. Naomi Campbell, as well as a number of other powerful Holly weirdos, has a violent history. Allegedly. Many have been bullied and blackballed by her, including the Tyra Banks.
But I remember being on a boat, and I get seasick. I was very seasick on this boat.
You were seasick on that boat?
Oh, I was. I don't tell people. I'm laying down on a pillow.
Yeah.
And you came and you sat down next to me, and I think you let me put my head in your lap, or you put my feet on your lap.
Right.
And you're like, sweetie, are you okay? Are you okay? And I said, actually, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. And then you said, I have to ask you something.
Right.
See, I remember this because I was so new and young. You said, I have to ask you something. Do they try to make you look like me?
Right.
And I said, I don't know about so much now, but in LA, yeah, they really did with the little short black wigs
that.
and
You
stuff.
told me that, yeah,
yes.
I remember.
And Naomi, you got up, pushed me away, and said, yeah, I thought so. And you turned.
I did?
You went from the sweetest woman that was giving me vitamins to someone that terrified me on that trip.
Oh, my God.
And
understandable, I can understand.
I was told on that trip that I was sent home because you don't want me there anymore. Finally addressing the feud that has been going on for over a decade. Do you remember that photo?
Yeah, I remember.
I remember that photo because we didn't say one word to each other. It was after the thing that happened on the boat.
Right.
And it looks like we're just chilling and talking, but if you see there, I feel the ice in that picture because I remember it like it was yesterday.
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I remember only about the...
There was no communication. I went from calling my mom, like, saying, oh my gosh, she's so amazing, to calling her going, I don't know what happened.
Right.
We just did a photo. She didn't speak to me. Like,
I remember just with you. I remember you telling me about the wigs. I don't remember anything.
You don't remember anything else?
But I remember that the ending of that trip was it was very cold.
We did a fashion show. I don't remember what it was. It might have been Jenny or something like that in Milan. And we were doing that fashion show backstage, and you came up to me right when I was about to walk out, and you said something. And it's so funny because it was so surreal at the time when you said it. I didn't think that you could actually say something like that.
What did I say?
You said something like, you'll never be me, don't ever think that you'll be me, and something like that.
I said that?
Yes.
I can't think, that's something, I'm not that, I'm very much I know the person that I am, and I'm not someone to go and give myself away and say that to anybody. I've never said that in my life. So, but if that's what you remember, I accept that, but it doesn't sound like me to people that would know me.
That experience between you and I was one of the most difficult times in my entire life.
It's not life-threatening and it's not that deep.
There was a situation, it was a Versace fashion show. I was backstage getting my hair and makeup done, and this is about a year and a half into this feud thing that was going on. And then I think his name was Angelo, or Italian name, can't remember his name. Angelo, was that his name? Mm-hmm. Okay, Angelo called me, and he said, Tyra, I need to talk to you. And I said, okay. And he had a really weird look on his face. And I said, what is it? He says, I have to cancel you from the fashion show.
Right.
And I was like...
And you instantly thought that was because of me?
No, I didn't. Okay. And I said, why? I just did my fitting. I did everything. The show's about to start in 20 minutes. And he gave me a look and kind of did like that toward you. And I was like, okay.
What, do you ever know Johnny Versace?
No.
Okay, so if anyone that knows him knows you. I could never do that. But just so you know, you're not alone. Kate Moss was canceled after doing a fitting in a rehearsal.
Yeah. No. So I've been canceled as a model a lot. So I picked up my backpack, walked out, and I was like, you know what? This is enough. Mm-hmm. This is enough, because I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take it anymore. I went to a payphone.
You called her?
I called my mother and I said, Ma, I can't take it anymore. I dropped down to my knees. Mm-hmm. In that payphone. People were walking by, trying to help me in French, and they didn't know I was okay. I was just emotional. I said, I can't take it anymore. And I said, if she wants it this badly, she can have this entire industry. Mm-hmm. I got accepted to 5 colleges. I'm coming home, and I'm going to school. Right. To be honest, Naomi, I'm fearful of you to this day. I walk in the room, and I see you. I'm like, I start shaking. My heart starts beating faster. I go back to the 17-year-old girl
that you used to be.
That I used to be, when this powerful, strong icon woman that I looked up to was terrorizing me. Why I left the fashion industry. I was tired of having to deal with you. I was tired of that pain. I was tired of the comparison. I was tired of constantly hearing that I got canceled from this job or this or that, or this photographer was called, or this magazine was called, and was telling to not use me. So I made a conscious decision, and I said, you know what? I'm tired. I'm so tired of this. First of all,
do you have proof that photographers were called? Do you have any proof?
I have some close people with big names that I definitely will not tell their names today because they kicked my butt. Yeah. But I have to say that I do believe a lot of it. I do believe a lot of it, because there's a lot of these people have nothing to gain by saying that. They're not people that are gossip mongers. I can understand you want to believe it.
For me, it's not important to me.
She has had and continues to have senseless, long-term relationships with other predators, such as Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein. Why then would you advise a young woman to keep her mouth shut when she tells the truth and shames the devil, and in turn heals those who share similar experiences and creates awareness so others never get to go through what she went through? It's crystal clear that we have a long way to go. Nevertheless, shout out to Elsa Majimbo for being a generational curse breaker.